Let's go! LSU film study. We're going to have fun with it because, look, we freaking won the game. We're the first team since 2017, which also was LSU, ironically, versus Tennessee, to win a game with less than 100 yards passing on the road. Pretty freaking nuts. We were very lucky to win this game thanks to a heroic defensive effort. Obviously, we're losing by 17, and then to come back and do what we did was pretty huge, okay? So I'm going to talk a little bit about DENBROCK. I'm going to talk a little bit about JAYDEN. I'm going to talk a little bit about everything. I love this. I like whenever we rotate and we play empty, okay? Now, why do I like empty with a running back out here? Well, the running back allows the quarterback to know what type of coverage they're going to be in, okay? If the corner stays out here, it's likely to be zone. Just by their framework right here, this looks to be zone coverage, okay? Now, where Jayden's trying to throw this football is into the space right here to Mason Taylor, and as you'll see right here, this wasn't a good throw at all, but there's a few important things to point out here, okay? So, obviously, that ball is just rarely going to get caught. We got to do a better job of snap count manipulation, right? So, normally when Jayden Daniels slaps or he claps, that's when the ball is going to get snapped. Better defensive ends can jump it, right? So Hall, who was SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week last week, he's one of the best players in the SEC. He's able to get a good jump because he knows right after the clap the ball is going to get snapped. In fact, he's a little bit offsides here. But, it's such split second that it's kind of hard to see. And because Emery Jones sees that Hall has such a good jump off of this, he actually false starts here. You see he budged a little bit before the snap. And that's just too easy. Okay, so Emery actually does a good job right here resetting and doing a respectable job against Hall, even though he had a great jump. That is really special right tackle play. But you notice here, the protection breaks down over the middle. Okay, best way to rush an offensive guard from a 3-tech is a swim move to the inside. It's actually just kind of a swipe. Oh, well, it was a swim. There's too much pressure up the middle here. Okay, so because there was so much pressure, I think Jayden was throwing this the entire way. This ball actually should have been completed to Kayshawn, okay? It should have been right here, okay? It's clear that this linebacker is reading your eyes. You're staring this guy down. It's a very dangerous throw. You got to work back here, but if he would have worked back here, he would have been slammed into infinity. So the protection was really bad. So now we get to this 3rd and 10, and we get back into empty, okay? So I like empty. I do. You just got to be able to protect it. I don't like doing it too much. And what they do here is they actually rush 3 and drop 8 out of empty. Okay? So why do they rush 3 and drop 8 out of empty? Well, they're forcing Jayden Daniels to beat them with his arm. Okay? So these are 2 QB spies. Kind of a mush rush here by the line. So Jayden just has nowhere to run. He's got to throw for this. And what does Jayden do? Well, protection does kind of break down at the end. Well, he hits Mason Taylor in the hands, and that should be a first. Pocket's good. Now, this was a wobbler. Okay, Jayden does not throw the tightest spiral. It can wobble on him. But, folks, I mean, how much better could this ball have been thrown? It hits you right in the hands while you're running. Okay? And the thing is, on a dig, if you will, it does have to lead the receiver, right? You just got to catch it. You just do, okay? I'm just saying Jack Best catches that football, and I would like to see Jack get some run at tight end. All right, pick it up here on the next drive. After a good 3-yard run on first, we're running counter or just pulling 2 guys to the right side. Get a great block right here on their best player, Hall, and we're getting push. Now it sets up a manageable 3rd, or does it? Josh Williams running through people. Let's go, Josh. One of the better Jayden throws of the night, okay? So they're bringing heavy pressure, and it's press right here, okay? So we got to hit him on this comeback route, and once again, when the pocket collapses here, it's really good stuff right here by Jayden, okay? Once again, Emery Jones going up against, the best end he's played. Not the best, but it was good enough to give Jayden a chance right here to throw this comeback route to Malik. Not the absolute best throw. Good job by Malik making this catch. And the ball, honestly, it is a really good throw. Got to throw it high and away. 2nd and 1. I like that we're starting to pull our alignment a little bit more. Bad miss right here by Charles Turner. Okay? Really, really bad miss. Okay? We want to make sure that this guy doesn't cross our face. We got to make sure you get to his play side shoulder. Causes a lot of penetration right here, and we get away with a bad hold, okay? That's a bad missed call. We'll take it. But still, honestly, this just isn't hard at all. This is bad right here by JAYDEN. Boom. Just hit him right here, okay? Go through your progressions, but he sees this big rushing lane right here open, but that closes an SEC play a little bit quicker, okay? They're mush rushing. Okay, they're not penetrating with their pass rush. They're reacting to when JAYDEN actually runs. Got to be able to beat him from the pocket and make this throw right here. Okay, now, it's not a sack for a loss of yards. We do fall forward here for, a loss of no gain, but still. What I'd like to see is us work on this, okay? Because of JAYDEN's speed, they are going to respect his ability to pull and run to the outside. So what that's going to do is open up huge gaps in the running game, and especially a team like Auburn that does like to play some man. If we just widen our wide receiver splits, which is what we're doing, we're running a go. Jack's drawing this guy, he's drawing this guy. We had 2 opportunities to really bust this, okay, right here by Noah Cain. Okay, the first here is there is an angle to cut through here, okay? Because the end has to respect JAYDEN's ability to run, as does the safety. But then there's also a huge rushing lane right here, and we just don't hit it, okay? Now, once again, not Emery Jones's best day at the office, but he's got the toughest block to make here. He's got to come all the way down here and block this shade technique, okay? And he does okay. He does get ragdolled a little bit here, and he is able to disengage with them, and it does make it tough. Huge miss, though, because we're washing both of these guys out of the play. We still need a running back to hit this space right here, okay? Because it was there. It was there, and, 2 huge gaps right there and opportunities in the running game. All right, so it now sets up this 3rd and 7, and this is just good quarterbacking here, okay? They're playing man coverage, okay? If they're going to play man, guess what? We want JAYDEN to run, all right? This ball to Kayshawn is open, okay? That's good enough for you to throw this. It's not wide open, though, okay? If you lead him, there is an opportunity. This is kind of a strange-ish kind of play, okay? Because Mason is actually coming here to block this guy right here, okay? Just kind of a weird design. So you could have hit Kayshawn right here, but if it's man coverage, tuck and run, okay? If you're given all this space, tuck and run and take this first down, which is exactly what JAYDEN decides to do. So once again, I know it's a little unorthodox, but still, we'll take those yards all day. So we pick up a nice first down and we keep this drive moving. Good blocking by JAYDEN downfield. They're playing 2-man under. It's very simple stuff, okay? Man-to-man coverage with 2 high safety, all right? Kind of looks like they roll into a robber here, so he moves center field, and 10's picking up any scraps. Okay, this wasn't open, all right? Now that you get this angle, JAYDEN sees that this safety is bearing down on him, okay? So that's not there. You see it's man. Safety's back here. Smart move right here is to tuck and run. Nothing is open. Nothing. This is really spectacular quarterback play by JAYDEN Daniels. Okay? I like the RPO stuff that we're starting to do. All right? So it's a run-pass option. JAYDEN's job right here, it's pretty simple. If the safety is all the way back here and there is all this space to throw the slant, you throw the slant. JAYDEN pulls it. This is an easy throw. A little weird here. Normally on RPOs, the receiver is just turning right here, and I think JAYDEN was expecting BTJ to just turn right here and catch it, but BTJ decides to sell this route a little bit and create some separation for the slant. So he pushes off right there to create some separation. And I think JAYDEN likes to see the receiver's eyes when he throws the football. He likes the receiver to be wide open. I think that caused this ball to sail on him, and that's exactly what happened. See what happens here. 3rd and 7. All right. This is actually really good. Just get a little unlucky that, we can't get a foot in bounds there. I don't think this is bad at all. I would be interested to have a wider angle to see if this dig was eventually open in this space over the middle, but this guy was sinking center field. Kind of a Tampa 2 look here. So what Tampa 2 is the famous Buccaneers defense. Safety moves here into 2 high, and then he becomes the 3rd deep defender into this deep space, your linebacker. So the dig wasn't here either, okay? So JAYDEN has to run and make something happen here. Good job by this Auburn pass rush to force JAYDEN to beat him with his arm. And, Tampa 2 is good against mobile quarterbacks. And this ball is actually not poorly thrown. It's high and away. Let your lanky playmaker try and make a play. You get a little unlucky. All right, so I just don't know what we're trying to accomplish here on this first down. We like to do a lot of these boundary field reads. Or it's just, can we get a quick throw into flats? They were just all over this for a good bit of the night. Can't throw that. Obviously, you can't throw that to Malik. So now we got to work back here. You can hit Jure right here, maybe. Maybe Jure could start working back to the quarterback. But instead, JAYDEN decides to extend this thing. And, we do eventually work back to Mason Taylor. So we'll take a nice gain on first. All right. This would be an adjustment I would make if I were LSU. Okay. JAYDEN actually makes a bad decision if this was indeed the zone read call. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you right now. So, hit my mic. What's very interesting here is, and I always say this about our film studies, I don't know the play calls. I don't know who's told to do what. It's impossible to really know that. So, yeah, once again, I'm not a coach. I'm not as smart as any of these guys coaching here. These are just modest opinions, and we keep it moving here. JAYDEN makes a bad read here, okay? This should have been kept if it was zone read because this end was playing this so tight to the line of scrimmage, okay? Now, it might have been an auto handoff. Sometimes that is the case. But we never actually throw this slip either, okay? We never actually throw this. And I think JAYDEN should have pulled because we did have a lot of space to cook with. And the safety was with this runner. Man, I just think JAYDEN made a bad. So now it's 3rd down. That was a tough block by Emory Jones to make. It looked like he blew his block, but very difficult block. So now this is something that they did that was really interesting. So they would put their best pass rusher here, Hall. Once again, this is the SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week, and look at how far back he is. So he rolls up for the quarterback spy, which obviously is very, very exotic stuff. So now it's 3rd down. We're trying to find something open. We do get something open right here, okay? And we complete it. Really well-designed play. We get called for an illegal motion penalty, and we get a nice throw over the middle. Mason Taylor, smart move, get as vertical as you can, pick up the first. Bam! I'm looking at you. Yes, you right now. So if it is in your heart's desire, please feel free to drop a Venmo, Cash App, or just join our PHL growing Patreon community. I want to shout out someone in particular that has been a big inspiration to me, my guy, Jason Morgan. I really appreciate all your love and support on our live streams. And look, the live stream discussion last night was pretty heated about the LSU offense, okay? So before I break this play down, we won the game. So I understand that I am not an end results person. I believe the process, how you win, is very important. And you're just not going to win many games averaging less than 4 yards per play, especially when the other team is averaging well over 6. And a big thing that I saw that happened last night was the interior of this offensive line for LSU crumbled. Now, Emory Jones and Will Campbell both didn't have their absolute best games. I thought Will was better than Emery last night. But first thing here is, this is, to me, the best place to rush a passer. So you hear me say this all the time. When I was a pass rusher, my favorite place to rush a passer was the outside shoulder of the guard, because oftentimes you're going to get a one-on-one matchup. And this is obviously Miles Frazier, who was at right guard. Now he's at left guard because Dellinger's out, and now Bradford is in. What I would like to do is go to the inside, but either way, you are leaning right here. And that is not what you want to do as an offensive lineman. You don't want to lean forward. They are just going to just push and pull you, just throw you to the side, and that's exactly what happens there. We give up too much pressure here coming off the right edge as well. Emery also gets caught leaning. Okay, you notice the guys who aren't getting beat, they're not leaning and just grabbing at stuff. Now, what does leaning normally mean as an offensive line? Well, that's normally sloppy technique. So now we get to the next drive here, and this is the Josh Williams block below the waist penalty. And two things are true about LSU football, okay? We have called great jet sweep motion, these little plays like this, but something always goes wrong, right? Against Florida State, Deli had a high snap, and Malik would have had a huge play on a jet sweep. Here, you can't block below the waist when running or blocking to the outside anymore. They just changed that rule recently, and that is exactly what happens here. This is a really good play call by Mike DENBROCK, okay? You just can't do this, and truth be told, it was a necessary block, but doing this was unnecessary. So all you got to do is just kick him out, and then Kayshawn has a cutback angle. So now chopping him actually slowed him down, because Kayshawn, just decides to hurdle, and that was actually kind of sick. But it's just a bad penalty. We blocked it well, and it's a play that's going for 15 yards the other way instead of the good way. And just in general, these easy kind of completions, like a jet sweep motion or a running back screen, we just have not been able to do any of that these past couple of seasons. So now we get to this 1st and 15, and this is an easy throw, and you just got to catch it. 2nd and 20. And it just gets worse. It honestly just gets worse here. Middle of the offensive line just gets bullied right here. Okay? We are, we're getting this double right here, and Frazier was right to pass this off. Turner's just got to do more with this, okay? That's too much. And honestly, JAYDEN probably, this was a design quarterback draw, obviously. I mean, we had it. This is a good play call, once again, by Mike. We had this for a big gain. It's just our center just gets ran into. Okay, that's really, really, really bad right there by Charles Turner. Frazier was right to pass off the double. We just got to get more out of 69 there. So we had a first down play that went for 15 yards. It said it's a penalty for not 15 yards, but 5 yards the other way, and then or 10 yards the other way. Then on that play on the jet sweep or on the quarterback draw, that should have been at least a 7-8 yard gain. We lose 5. So now we get to 3rd and 24 here, and there's just not anything you can do right here. You just can't lose the game here, okay? We're rolling out to the right, and we just throw this, and, obviously we're not going anywhere with this anytime soon. So I thought this play overall was kind of underrated here. First off, we're getting something positive out of a kickoff return. We have two of our better more explosive players here. Not really much of a block there by John Emery, but Jack Bech actually just makes something out of nothing here. It looks like that was actually covered, and he gets the corner, and we get a nice kickoff return here. Once again, it's the undershirt thing, though, that will just drives me crazy. I don't know why LSU doesn't do this more, okay? The RPO stuff, that's exactly what this is, okay? Run-pass option, Jayden's job right here is to read this safety. If he creeps down, you just throw it to Malik on the slant. That is exactly what happens here. He pulls it, okay? And boom, we got lucky. This should have been a legal man downfield. You see the down marker is actually right here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we got away with the one right there. And he's actually 4 right here when the ball is released, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Got away with that illegal man downfield right there. I'll still take it. We need to RPO more. Good stuff. Hey, this is just what you have to do if they're going to play off of you, okay? So Auburn didn't do this as much as other teams did, but New Mexico did, and pretty much everybody else. If they're going to play off of you, you just got to take these completions. All we need Kayshawn to do is get a good block right here, and boom. We get a decent block. Now we just need Mason to split this. Okay, not Kayshawn's best block right there, but we don't want to commit a holding penalty. We don't. Good job, Mason, getting through that space, and we get a nice gain. Third down, this is just good quarterbacking and not great wide receiver play. It wasn't the best throw right here by JAYDEN. There's a few things here I think about this play, and you'll see the end zone camera here. So this is very exotic, okay? So their best defensive end, Hall, okay, remember, he's a defensive end, SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week. We have him back here in the safety role, right? So that's kind of strange. Might be a little too exotic for my liking. So what happens here is we have to think that this guy's not sitting back into coverage. So with these players playing this far off, JAYDEN is probably thinking this is cover 4, right? He's playing this deep fourth. This safety's playing this deep fourth. This safety's playing this deep fourth. And 4 is playing this deep fourth. But what happens here is they go into cover 2, okay? And what they're doing here is they're cutting off everything at the 6-yard marker, okay? Now, what do we do? Well, of course, we are running all deeper routes. And JAYDEN right here is thinking, okay, I'm going to try and throw this football here to Mason Taylor, and it's not there. So he sees that the safety sits in cover 2. This ball needs to go right here, okay? It's a difficult throw, okay? But if you back shoulder this throw right here, it's what they call a hole shot, if you will. The ball just needs to be completed, okay? Or, JAYDEN, you take off and run, and you one-on-one versus a defensive end for first, okay? But instead, JAYDEN decides to throw the dig, and this needs to be caught by Malik Neighbors. It's not an easy throw. He'll be barreling down. If you back shoulder this, it's there, okay? Still, JAYDEN does a good job. He's like, okay, I see all this is covered. I don't want to fit a hole shot. That could be an interception. I got Malik on a dig, right? And he throws actually a really good ball. This ball should have been caught, okay? So what happened? Well, this is the downside of playing on the road. You'll see right here, Malik's leg, you could see this worn-down Jordan Hare turf gave on him, okay? See how his leg kind of like oblonged right here? You still got to catch it, but that's what happened, okay? And you see it jut his body, and he couldn't bring it in, okay? Kind of awkward looking, if you will. But the reason why I got to catch it is because that could be a pick. Still, that's the downside of playing on the road. It's a field that, Malik's never been on in his life, and it's tough. All right, here's the beauty about football, though. You can have a bad offensive drive as long as your defense bails you out, and that is exactly what happens. As B.J. Ojulari makes one of the biggest plays of the game. He chases down Robbie Ashford. I have no idea why Ashford decided to roll out to the right. And obviously, BJ just makes a strip sack, okay? This is pretty big for BJ's confidence because if you go look last year, I feel like I think he only had one forced fumble. That was something he didn't have in his game last year. The strip sack, bringing down that right arm and stripping the football loose. And that gives us this big-time play right here by Jay Ward, who right now is one of the many MVPs of this defense. Alrighty, so let's have a conversation here about LSU special teams. Obviously, the change at the kickoff specialist was very interesting, but what I want to really focus on here is the delicate balance between starters and backups on special teams. And I want to continue by saying that yes, I'm happy we won, but what happened to Seven Banks was really, really sad. I'm not going to break down that play, obviously, and I really hope he makes a speedy recovery because kickoff team is scary, okay? This is Jarquez Hunter. This dude is a missile. He runs really fast. He runs really physical, and I want you to see what actually happens here, okay? I want you to see who's all on our kickoff team, all right? So you'll see here, Dre Jenkins is on kickoff team. Right? It's one of our best players. All right? He gets brought down. I don't know how holding wasn't called there. But what I want you to see is this man right here, Harold Perkins, is a starter on our defense. Okay? He has been one of the big difference makers. You also see Joe Fouché. You also see Greg Brooks. All these people. Mekhi Gardner. All right? And look at how physical this hit is. Bang! Okay? Perk was okay, obviously, but man, you see how dangerous kickoff is, and you see how delicate the balance is from playing like some of your starters and some of your best players on kickoff unit. It's crazy, and it's violent, it's physical, and it wouldn't shock me if teams, as we move forward, just do pooch kicks and allow the other team to have it at like the 25, 30-yard line every single time. All right, so I don't know what the case is here, but I'm going to give you a pretty insane Jayden Daniels stat. He is exceptional at the end of halves, right? We saw what he did at the end of the game versus Florida State. Phenomenal. We saw what he did at the end of the game versus Mississippi State, both in the first and the second half. Phenomenal and phenomenal. And even against Florida State, about midway through the second quarter, he led LSU on a field goal drive when they missed a kick, but still. So end of half situations, Jayden has been pretty spectacular. Now we get this first down play, and let's see how this touchdown was manufactured, okay? He's looking to the right. There's just doesn't look like anything's open. So he just kind of tucks and runs. They did a good job overall. I say Mississippi State. Auburn, they did a good job, collapsing the pocket on Jayden run. So we get lucky to convert a third down on an illegal hands to the face. I'm not going to show you the play just for brevity. But 29 Hall put his hand in Will Campbell's face, and we pick up a pretty big first down. If not, Auburn was getting off the field. So we got bailed out on a penalty that didn't need to get committed. So very lucky break for us. So now it's 1st and 10. Jayden is looking to throw, and while he gets hit, he throws a football here just basically out of bounds. Good job right there by Jayden not taking the sack. It's a second down here. And let's see what Jayden does here on this second down. Okay, I remember this play. Just an amazing play once again by Jayden. All right? Doesn't really look like anything's open. I mean, this right here to Kayshawn is open. Good job right here to help create this. This ball could have been completed to Mason Taylor, but he's, basically getting smothered. So honestly, this is there to Kayshawn on his upfield shoulder, but this is what Jayden sees. He sees middle of the field open. We have all three of our timeouts, so why not tuck and run? Okay, this was actually pretty impressive to squeeze through here, and he's able to do just that. Okay, makes this guy miss. I mean, his running ability is nothing short of incredible. And on one sock, Kaufman decides to chunk this shoe. He makes another guy miss, and he's able to get out of bounds as well. Just pretty incredible stuff. See, from this angle, there's just nothing open here. I really do think LSU needs to rethink its passing offense, okay? So is this open right here? No. Is this open to Malik? No. Okay? Now JAYDEN is seeing if BTJ is going to be open. No, they're sitting there waiting right here, okay? None of that's open, so he decides to tuck and run, and that's what he should do, right? If you're an exceptional thrower, or excuse me, an exceptional runner, run. Nothing was open there. Absolutely nothing, okay? What are we good for? Absolutely nothing. But yeah, once again, this running is just incredible. So after a good throwaway on first down, nothing was open. Second down, we get the John Emery show, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 guys to block their 6. We run into the right. Linebackers are playing off, so we got to be able to run on it. And let's see if we can. This is one of Bradford's better reps. Look at that. That's excellent stuff. It does look like he eventually loses a block, but that's after he pushes this guy all the way out there, okay? Good stuff. Good job by Frazier washing this DT down. And it was a good read right here by John Emery to see that the DT is over-penetrating and there's a gap right here to run through. Good block by Will. Just good stuff all around. And we just need somebody to start breaking some tackles. And John does fall forward for an extra yard or two here. So once again, some very crafty JAYDEN Daniels running. Is there anything open? No. Okay. Maybe this window to Kyron was open. But here he is one-on-one versus a defensive end. He makes a miss. That's a nasty juke on Hall. And he finds a way to pick up the first. Okay? Just excellent stuff. He spins around that, and they gave him a good spot. All righty, so it's 2nd and 10, and this is a big play to John Emery. After another good throwaway by JAYDEN Daniels, we hit the most underrated play in football, which is the running back wheel. Okay? Miscommunication, 0 Owen Papo. Probably should have ran with Emery. It looks like that would have been his man. Pretty interesting blown coverage there. Emery catches it, and now it's off to the races, okay? Good job by John Emery not wasting any motion and just getting as vertical as you possibly can. And also him, I don't know why he tried to hurdle here. Maybe he could cut back into this space, but why not go for the hurdle? He does fall forward, and we land at the 1. All right, 1st and goal. I brought this up in the last film study. I'm not the biggest fan of going tight, okay? Now, what I want you to do is try and guess what personnel grouping this is right here with the normal personnel number grouping system. If you're watching this on a premiere, if you're just watching this down the road, once again, I want to say thank you to all our new subscribers, bell ringers, all the good stuff. Thank you so much. And if you answered 14 personnel, guess what? You are right. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 tight ends with 1 running back. So guess what? They know we're probably going to run right here, and that is exactly what we do. And John Emery actually makes a big mistake here. And we're lucky enough we did not have to pay for it. So I think LSU needs to fix this error before it could become costly, because this cost one of the biggest games in the SEC. One of the biggest wins of the SEC this year would have been Arkansas over Texas A&M. Heck, it cost them College game day, right? If Arkansas would have been undefeated before Alabama, they were probably, going to Fayetteville, and that would have been the first time it would have been in Arkansas since, I think, 2006. And what happened was KJ Jefferson dove for the end zone with the football out, kind of like John Emery just did right there, and that opens you up for fumbling. Now, if it's 4th and goal, do that, because it is a do-or-die situation. We did an entire video on this on Power Hour SEC, so make sure you subscribe to that channel and try and get me to 1,000. Let's go. Number 1, I don't know why John dove right here, okay? All he had to do was keep his feet, and once again, this is a lot of penetration given up here by Emery Jones. Once again, not his best day at the office. But if you see that, just cut into this space. And this is why I like Noah Cain as the short yardage back for LSU. He has been really good in short yardage situations throughout his career. So, I like Emery better than Cain as a back. But, this was not a smart decision right here by John. Now, truth be told, that looks like a tutty to me. So why shouldn't you dive for the pylon? Well, you could just basically show the same thing on second down and just pull it, right? You got a new running back in Josh Williams. And that's exactly what Jayden Daniels does here. He's really good at this. Scored a touchdown in the spring game, a lot like this as well. Just a zone read pull. That's it, okay? And I think this is just a pull all the way, all right? And obviously, this player runs with the tight end, okay? And it's just an easy walk-in tutty for JD5. So here we are. We are now in 12 personnel, okay? And have a little pre-snap communication. You see this right here? LSU's pointing out that, hey, I'm BTJ. I'm in press. I'm going to beat this guy. It's a rollout to the right. Jayden's late on this ball, okay? This ball could already be out right now, and this is why I think Jayden is being hamstrung a little bit on his own as a passer, okay? All right, right here, you have to know that BTJ is going to create separation. This corner has inside leverage. There is no way that this corner is going to know that BTJ is going out here, okay? So the ball could be out now. But the thing is, Jayden likes to wait for the wide receiver to be this open, okay? He likes to see the receiver right here. The ball should be out, and it's late, okay? It's still a somewhat accurately thrown football. It's still technically a drop. BTJ still should drag his feet and catch this. He's going to play in the NFL. Still, it's late. And see what happens when you throw late? You're barreling it into the knees of three-ish of our best offensive players. Right now, the ball could be out. It could be out, okay? And also, Jayden does a good job of avoiding interceptions, but he throws it so far to the right to make sure this, for some reason, will never be an interception where only his guy could get it. But there is so much separation that we don't need it to be thrown all the way over here, okay? So this is honestly on Jayden. It goes back to the opening thing. Hall is getting such a great jump off the line that it's hard for true freshman tackles to block. This is just a very simple bull rush. And this time, Hall doesn't get his hand into the face mask of Campbell. That's what allowed us to continue the drive. And it's just too much bull rush, and Hall is just too good of a player. Sometimes, that guy's going to make plays. And you see it on the other end as well. We're getting bull rushed here, and I brought this up, leading up to the game, that I thought our true freshman tackles were going to get bull rushed a little bit. And, they did. Because the bull rush was so immense, and there really was nowhere for Jayden to step up, nowhere for him to run either, he does actually see this correctly, okay? Kayshawn is covered, all right? But I do think he would have progressed to right here, okay? And that would have been enough for a first down. BTJ right there in that zone, okay? But the pressure, okay? Just too much pressure, all right? Now we're running, oh, man, look at this. It's 2nd and 1. And look at this box they're giving us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish guys in the box. Kayshawn's pointing at this backer right here. Let's see. Clear run. Okay, safety does creep into the box here. But, this is just nasty right here by John. He does kind of just run into the back, but he does break off of this tackle right here, and he is able to eventually find the gap. And now he's cutting through here for a nice run. If they're going to give us 5-man boxes, we got to punish them on the ground. Take it down, and I believe this is drop number 5 right here by John Emery. Once again, good game. Go check out my Patreon grade on John Emery. This is, you've got to just catch this. And right here, the reception is more important than the yards after it. Catch it. He's probably falling forward for a first down right there. See what happens here. Nobody's getting open. Honestly, nobody's getting open. We could make all the, JAYDEN throws or whatever. None of our guys could get open. And it's kind of tough to see what happens here. So obviously, Malik's got to really if this corner presses and now he has inside leverage on you and you're trying to run over the middle, you really have to sell vertical and get to the inside. So the route isn't the absolute worst. You just got to catch this football. That's right there. Now, I don't know exactly where 36's hands are, if he got his hand in there or not. But, Malik just didn't make a whole lot of the normal Malik special contested plays like he did versus Mississippi State. It kind of goes back to earlier. We had issues, keeping our feet on their turf all night. So, yeah. But as you can see, we're not generating really just any separation anywhere. So we stop him on a 4th and 10. On the drive before, I prefer to go for it on 4th and 4 near midfield, especially if I'm losing. But that's not here nor there. We actually, get the football back. We got pretty good field position, and we just need to go down there and win the game. Not bad. It's impossible for me to see what's actually happening downfield. But good job by, JAYDEN to make some stuff happen here. And we pick up a nice gain on first. All right, here we go. 2nd down. And this is where JAYDEN does hurt himself on this zone read pull. This is the easiest zone read pull I've ever seen. Hall just sells out completely to stop this run. And they're just giving us these yards. Okay? So, truth be told, 32 is actually fooled by the run action himself. I just don't like it when quarterbacks slide for a few reasons. Number one, it is important before the game to take a look at the turf. Jayden does get banged up. Number one, this turf was very chunky. So, if you slide, you can, catch yourself and really mess up your knee. And that's what happens here. If you get these yards, I've seen Lamar do this as well. Just fall forward. Something else about sliding, it is kind of awkward. It's something you don't do a whole lot in practice, just in general. But if you slide, it's where you begin to slide, where the football actually is when you actually go down and slide, is where they mark the football. So technically, if you fall forward and dive forward, you could pick up an extra 2 or 3 yards. If you slide, you're actually losing a yard backwards, if that makes sense. And ironically, Robbie Ashford made that mistake last week versus Missouri, and Max Johnson last year versus Texas A&M as well. So I would tell JAYDEN to just not slide. Quarterback draw, it looks like here. All right. Good call on the quarterback draws. We want to wash these guys upfield. Exactly what we do. Now we get a lead block here by Noah Kane. Okay. And JAYDEN picks up good yardage here on 2nd and 11. Okay. All right, so Mike makes a good decision. He says, look, you're going to keep creeping a safety here. We got to hit a go down the sideline. All right. That's where a lot of space is going to be. All right. So JAYDEN takes the snap. Play action fake, and we're taking a shot here to Malik. JAYDEN starts by looking left, and then he works back right. Throws his ball to Malik Neighbors. Not the best route right here by Malik. You want to give your quarterback some room. And guess what? We get bailed out with, to me, a pass interference penalty that just wasn't good. Okay? So as a receiver, it's kind of tough on the short side of the field. you want to give your quarterback room to throw this football, and we are a little too close to the sideline here. Okay, let's see. They're not going to call that. We get bailed out, we'll take it. A false start penalty to make it 1st and 15. We gain 4 yards on a run to make it 2nd and 11. Okay, so now this is a John Emery show. Okay, this is just the best offensive play of this game, and it's just hard to argue otherwise. You can't play the running back position any better than this. Now, they did get on John Emery for high stepping at the 5-yard line. That is a little bit ridiculous, but who cares, okay? Yes, you shouldn't do that, but this is a man who, fairly or unfairly, has been suspended for a year and a half, well, whatever it was, a year and 2 games for, academics. I'm glad he gets this moment, and this is huge for his confidence. So you can see Brian Kelly and Frank Wilson getting on to John Emery, and, he's saying, yeah, I can't do this. But honestly, it just doesn't get any better than this. It just doesn't, okay? First off, this is smart to bounce this, okay? Now, you got to make this guy miss. It is hard to make tacklers miss, and he does just that, okay? Get off me, and then to get face masked right here by Hall and still run through these arm tackles is nothing short of incredible, and that is just fantastic stuff. You enjoy yourself, JE4. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you. I'm about to show you the best throw of the night for LSU, but before we do that, I want to say thank you so much for subscribing on all of my projects, Power Hour SEC, the free Power Hour LSU podcast, which is different. Wait, hold on. The best throw for LSU all night. You better believe it, baby. Koy Do-It-All Superstar Moore, who would be the alpha wide receiver on our offense, which is why he miraculously transferred to Auburn, proves that, well, he is a miraculously great quarterback for LSU. Let's go, Koy. Man, at least Koy did not make any more mistakes the rest of the evening. I'm telling you. But honestly, this was another great game by Harold Perkins. And I know I talk about him all the time on live streams, but this is just another phenomenal play. But real talk, thank you guys so much for making this channel so much fun. Let's go. So after 2 runs on 1st and 2nd down for a few yards, obviously Jayden's got, this brace now on his leg, and we're going to Malik Neighbors right here, and Malik Neighbors draws a pass interference penalty. This was excellent stuff by Malik. Look, this corner is walling him to the outside. I mean, this is as inside leverage as you're going to see, but Malik is still able to get him going sideways here to juke him to the outside, and he's able to draw this pass interference penalty. Big time stuff right there by Malik. And we get a first. And you'll see it. The fact that he's able to get to the inside here is amazing. Okay? Very clearly a grab right there. And we get the penalty. So now it's 1st and 15. We get the false start here by Mason Taylor. And now this is Nuts' 2nd down rep. And see right here, I mean, got a little lucky that 98 still played the contain role, and we're able to pick up a few yards here on 1st and 15 right here by Josh. 2nd down, we do just need to get Nuts an early completion to start getting things going. There's just not going to be anything open deep with these safeties being this far back. So let's just get Nuts something, some kind of rhythm. Let's see. Does he deliver this football out quickly? Relatively quickly. I do think it did get deflected some right here. It looks like it did get deflected. You still got to catch that, Kayshawn. Ugh. So now we get to 3rd and 12. And honestly, it's the same thing here. This just has to get fixed right here. Them getting these kind of jumps, all right, that did not help your true freshman tackles out at all. And look at Will. When we needed it, all right, excellent, all right. So on this third down, Nuss just throws high. You could tell this was a nervy throw right here by Nuss. Don't want to take the sack. Don't want to give up, the game-losing play here. But, he more than likely completes that pass. It's a bad miss, though. Wouldn't have gotten the yards anyway. ACBK is getting into Nuss. Josh picks up a nice third down. And once again, the LSU receivers just had a really rough night. All of them. Obviously, Malik drew some penalties for us. But rough night for Kayshawn. BTJ just couldn't really get going. We get really, really, really good protection here. And this is just a really good throw and just a bad drop. I mean, I don't know what else to really say right here, other than Nuss makes the right read. And the ball just has to be delivered on the money, which it was. You just got to catch it. Give the corner credit. It's just a good play. Okay? Not bad quarterbacking at all right here by Garrett Nussmeier. Steps up into the pocket. I can't see what these other routes are doing. All I could do is tell you how this play went, and you just got to hope Malik can make a 50-50 play. Ford just makes a really good play on the ball. Because it had so much drift on it, it looked like we kind of overran it, but it actually just squirted right through him. That didn't sound smooth at all. And look at how lucky of a bounce this is. Okay? They have as many guys in this area as we do, and it just bounces right to us. Okay? It's better to be lucky than good. I don't know why this rule is that you can't advance after the fumble. I don't know why the rule is the rule, but we'll take it. At first down, we were having some major issues with these snaps. Okay? Nuss almost had this, go right 5-hole nutmeg, if you will, and he catches it, and we're still able to get this handoff off right here. And all we're doing at this point is just trying to survive this game. Okay, it's pretty clear Auburn knows this as well. But, in the spot, I would tend to think in the opposite manner. Let's go get a touchdown and go win this game. Maybe, obviously, with Garrett Nussmeier in at quarterback, it is a little bit different because he is a new QB. But I felt like, going run, pass here, or just run, obviously, was just too conservative. Now it's second down, and look at this. They are selling all out to stop this run. One's got a running start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people into this box, and we blow an assignment. Okay? Now, truth be told, John Emery still can't fumble this ball in this spot, which he did, but I'm actually going to give him some slack here. This is a disaster all around. They know we are running, and they've shown the propensity, if you will, to get very aggressive on clear running situations by blitzing guys off the edge. Okay? So we're trying, and what I'm guessing the play was designed to do was to run through here, but Bradford decides to pull as well going this way. This should never happen. You should never be pulling your... One guard should never pull this way, and another guard should pull this way. Okay? Disaster. So now, this play is just dead. It's dead on arrival. We're cutting off... We're losing one blocker from this side, and he's also cutting off 2 blockers that were supposed to go to this side anyway, and Emery's confused. He has no idea what's happening here, okay? So now, he's just got nowhere to go. Now, you just need to hold on to it. Don't even try to fall forward for any yards. You just got to two-hand it right here. But you see, he just had no chance. He had absolutely no chance at all on that. And the ball is loose, and they fall on it. So now let's talk about the play of the year. Okay, I know this has been, just an offensive film study, but this is the play of the year for LSU football. And honestly, there's just not anything close to this. This is as good of a play. And, basically Brian Kelly broke it down in the press conference. So he said something about rob. And as a robber, get downhill, make a fast and physical play, and that is exactly what he does. He just rips the football away. The craziest thing about this is Brooks, I don't know how he didn't lose his balance after that, okay? And not only does he make this play, we're off to the races. Good job by Jaquelin Roy to not just blow this guy out and get a blindside block penalty, okay? What's really interesting is how hard Robbie Ashford hit Greg Brooks right here. Bang! Okay? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it's Koy Moore. Just admit it. It makes it that much sweeter. It's an all-timer. Look at how hard this hit was. Bang. I don't think I've ever seen that much grass in a helmet. Goodness. Boom! I'm looking at you. So let's wrap it on up after a couple of good runs by Josh Williams in 13 personnel. Nick Storrs with some really big-time blocks at the end of this game. Let's talk about this LSU offense. The passing attack obviously is in shambles. First thing here, it is important to not overreact after one game. Last week JAYDEN did throw the football so well. I know it was New Mexico, but look, this was a game where the receivers really struggled with their footing. It wasn't just Malik. I just saw the receivers really struggling to get out of their breaks. But it was a little strange to see LSU's wide receivers, number one, drop so many passes, and number two, just play so poorly. It was not a good performance by them. The drops were bad. They didn't generate as much separation as I thought they would. It just wasn't a fine performance from that group. It also wasn't the finest performance from the LSU offensive line. They struggled in this game. Now, some of it is Auburn having a good defensive line. Some of it is snap count manipulation. Some of it is you playing your true first road game where it is so loud. I totally get that. So, look, it's a tough spot to be in as an offensive lineman on the road in a tough environment like that. But this was probably this unit's worst performance since the Florida State game. But truth be told is they weren't nearly as bad as they were in that game as they were in this one. It was a C-ish performance. Now, if you want to see our full game grades, you can go to patreon.com/LSU football, where you can also see my grade for Jayden Daniels. Jayden had some really good moments in this one. He also had some bad moments in this one. I do feel, and this was brought up by one of our many sharp viewers, Van, there was a quarterback, and a lot of you might know who this player's name is, named Michael Vick. Right, and of course, Michael Vick is one of the all-time best, playmaking dual-threat quarterbacks in the modern era. And Vick had issues with receiver drops. And what I think was, if you look back at those Atlanta Falcons wide receiver cores, they weren't the absolute best, but they weren't the worst either, right? It was Ashley Lee, Roddy White, Algie Crumpler, and those guys. And they had issues with drops. And I think part of it was, and this was Van's reasoning, they didn't know if they were actually getting the football or not, or if Vic was going to tuck and run. And it caused a little bit of a disjointed passing game. Now, that doesn't excuse drops, but that could be part of it. As receivers, you expect the football to come out when it's supposed to come out, and Jayden sometimes doesn't just rip it. So that could be part of why the drop issues were there. The second thing is, and I cannot state this enough, a lot of people are going to take this the wrong way, and they're going to take this as criticism. It is not criticism, because this young man has played fine for LSU, but I do think, the speed of things are starting to catch up to him, and that is the tight end position. I just don't I just think too much is on Mason Taylor's plate right now. And Nick Storrs had some good blocking plays at the end of this game. I do think they need to try Jack at tight end. At least give it a shot. He is rotting away on the bench. I understand not wanting to play him at wide receiver with some of the other options that we have there. But I say we go back to doing some of the 10.5 personnel things that we were doing last year, okay? Put Jack as the hybrid tight end, and a lot of these slips will be there. And I'm going to be honest with you, he's not dropping the passes that Mason Taylor dropped in this game. He's just not. He's just a better receiver. And this also gives Mason some time to grow and breathe on the sideline, right? There is a difference in a true freshman playing because they are truly transcendently talented like a Harold Perkins. But there's also a difference in a true freshman playing a lot in Mason Taylor. He is playing out of necessity because we don't have any other good receiving tight ends that are fluid in the passing game. So I think LSU should try it. I really, really do. And I think Jack would be down just to get him on the field, right? A lot of the stuff that Mason Taylor does isn't necessarily even the blocking stuff. He goes out on a lot of routes. I think Jack could pick it up and at least give it a shot because right now it really held back their passing attack this game. The drops were key, and I just don't think defensive backs are respecting our tight end at all right now. Now, we get into Jayden Daniels' performance. I gave it a C, but you could see our full game grades. There was a lot that he did in this game with his legs that, quite frankly, were the difference in this game. His legs are still so special, and he made a lot of plays with them for us to win this game. So, I don't think there's a quarterback controversy because Jayden did generate some offense for us. And I think that is something that's commendable. We still were able to win this game. You give Garrett Nussmeier a lot of credit, but I still think Jayden should be your guy. Now, we get to the major point here. And I feel like Brian Kelly has to be the one that makes this decision. What about the play calling? This is one thing that I would ask you to do on this film study today. I counted about 2-ish times, okay? But, all right, how many times in today's film study would you say, I'm looking wherever you might be, how many times could you say that something was schemed wide open for LSU, right? As in, this one play call generated an explosive play for LSU. Not a guy beating somebody in front of them, but whether it be a screen or an end around or, a fake screen, bubble, whatever it may be, there's not a lot right now through the play design that is generating easy opportunities for this offense. It's kind of hard for me to explain this, but if you go watch the Lane Kiffins, the Kendall Briles, and you'll see it next week versus Tennessee, the Hendon Hooker, Josh Heupel offense of the Volunteers, their offense gets easy yards and easy things schemed. We struggle with that for whatever it may be. We gotta start scheming some things open. And I do feel this was a rough game for Mike. I really do. It is your first road game that obviously really rattled the players. You did get a win, but this was my lowest graded game for DENBROCK. Still, we found a way to get it done. Give Garrett Nussmeier a lot of credit for coming into a hostile room, a hostile environment, good for his confidence. And give Jayden a lot of credit for, once again, gutting it out, trying to play through injury. Give Brian Kelly a lot of credit, making the switch to Nuss and not have Jayden compromise his health for the rest of the season. And, look, we'll take it. A win is a win is a win is a win, and we will move forward. So good stuff right there by this team. And quite frankly, you guys have seen the stat chart. They average 6.3 yards per play, which is really, really, really good, especially with Robbie Ashford at quarterback. We average 3.6 yards per play, which is really, 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 really bad. And somehow, some way, we won this game. And because of that, you give Matt House and that defense a lot of credit, especially after them jumping out to a 17-0 lead. So, as you saw today, not all the plays were shown. I cut a lot out. I'm going to post them later this week on Patreon. And a little bit later, we might dive a little bit deeper into a defensive film study. Now, obviously, the most important thing, I hope Sevyn Banks has a nice and speedy recovery. Very sad stuff. That was something else that LSU had to overcome early in this game. But once again, on to Tennessee, okay? Comment down below your thoughts on today's video. If you liked it, disliked it, agreed, disagreed, let me know, okay? It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! And tonight, we're getting the steaks out tonight. Let's go.